spoiled with you. You walk
Wow.
down and turn on our mics and everything.
Wow.
Pretty efficient.
Yeah, geez. All right. All right, well, it is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 12th of May, 2025. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as chair of the commission. With me to my far right is Mr. Dave Frankel, whom we're very glad to see here today.
Thank you.
To my immediate right is Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary. To my left, Mr. Tom Keller, who is the commission vice chairman, and further down, Mr. Rob Scalera, who is an alternate. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of us will be voting members this evening. Also with us on my far left is Ms. Elizabeth Adams, who is our recording secretary. If you're going to speak tonight, she has the responsibility to get your name and address. So again, before you speak, help her out, get her name. If you got a business card, hand her that. That's very helpful. And to my extreme right, Ms. Laura Barkowski, who is the town's Inland Wetlands Enforcement Officer. So with that, let's just go to the Inland Wetlands Officer's Report, active sites. I see you sent an email on 100 Candlewood Lake Road, and you got a response from those guys.
I did indeed. I actually have a telephone call today with Mr. Sinzeka from Arcadius, and we had a conversation about what the commission is looking for. I guess he was off the project for a while. He's now back on it. He was familiar with the project, which is excellent. About what he was actually looking for. He did send me an email today at 3:58. For discussions about the maintenance and monitoring reports and how that they have hired Chris Mangles. He's the gentleman who's involved with the sedge transplanting.
Yeah, okay.
So he's also familiar with the project as well.
Okay.
They were just want to be clear that they're capturing the exact scope of the reporting and work that's needed. As far as the monitoring reports, did you want them to be for the entire site or only in the wetlands creation areas?
It's for the wetlands creation.
Okay.
And then there is a wetlands remediation. There's a big, I don't remember how many thousand square feet on the south side of that project, where, and then they were, I think there were some new wetlands along the stream that they opened up by the little bridge. So it's the wetlands creation and the wetlands restoration. Those are the only things we need. We don't, we'd love to hear about the sedge, but we don't have to. We don't need anything about stormwater management or detention or any of the other landscaping, It's just wetlands creation, wetlands restoration areas. And that, again, doesn't have to be, pages and pages and pages. It can just say, review was made, there are no invasives, or there are invasives, and we're going to take them out. In the spring, the plantings that were there, they are 100% thriving, or they are 70% thriving. It doesn't need to be any more detailed than that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with the end at the end that the wetlands plantings and the creation of the wetlands succeeded, and the wetlands that they were taking the invasives out and trying to remediate, it was a success. I mean, I don't see this as being more than a page. I don't see it being more than that. We welcome information, but I think those are the basics. I don't know if anybody wants to add to that. I know a lot of you were not here for the school, which seems like forever ago. Oh my God.
It was a couple years back.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it's good time.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, Bob, I know you were here.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, 58 Old Grays Bridge Road. Again, we're keeping this here. Big soil contamination removal project with wetlands recreation at the end. No updates. 501A Federal Road.
I haven't received any new monitoring reports, so they normally come in a month batch, so I don't expect them until next
Yeah,
wetlands
hopefully there
meeting.
wasn't anything from I got 8 inches of rain over the last 7 days at my house, so.
No problem, Chair.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Enforcement, 35 Merlin Brook Road, I saw your email to Mr. Kinsella?
So I did speak with him after our last meeting.
Yeah.
He did try to put me in touch with the, I don't know if it was a landscaper or landscape architect. They left me a voicemail. I called them back. I didn't receive any response back from my voicemail.
Okay.
Which is why I followed up with the written correspondence to Mr. Kinsella, trying to outline what we were looking for.
Right.
And that way I have something in writing to show,
And that you can use to confirm everything,
that I
so.
can use to confirm, because there's a lot of plantings that were required in that planting
There
plan,
were,
and I
because
would
there
like
were a
them
lot
set-
of trees,
Mhm.
big, huge, beautiful trees that were
Taken
taken
down.
down right next to that water course.
So I wanted something in writing instead of just me going out and counting.
I think that's, okay.
Start.
All right, so we're making progress, and I said, I think we could, let's continue those violations until we get that.
Yeah, the violation remains,
Right.
so.
Yep,
absolutely.
and that's adding up.
Mhm.
All right, 51 North Mountain Road, clear cutting, oh heavens.
So we have received a portion of an application.
Okay,
They, based off of the email chain, to summarize it, at last I looked, and I didn't look since this morning, but the fee payment for the application wasn't made.
okay,
And Ann had actually sent correspondence saying that, based off of the application's materials, it looks like we would need more information. Historically speaking, we've looked for the amount of trees that have been taken down, the type of trees and caliber. So that was actually relayed to more details of, species and of the trees that were removed and the remediation that they're proposing to do, if any. So far, I have not received any updated information. I do know that Ms. Jowdy had sent an email asking it late on Friday if Ann could upload the reports, but it was after Ann left. Ann is in classes this week.
right.
So I don't know if anything was sent to her. There is an email response that says email me instead of emailing her, and I
Okay.
haven't received anything. I do know that Amy got back to her,
Okay.
saying we would expect the representative to attend, based off of this email that I have on the 14th, that they cannot attend tonight's meeting.
And this was scores of trees, if I recall, right?
This was a fair amount of trees, yes. This is not one or two.
Did they give any reason why they couldn't attend?
I believe, I don't see anything in writing. Mark and I cannot attend the meeting that evening. Will we be notified if more information is needed or if there are any issues? Thank you, Kathleen. And the response was pretty much, as you were advised when you came in, because she did come in.
Yeah.
And did help her with the application. The commission requests the number and species of trees removed and more detailed plans of than what has been submitted so far. A reminder to pay the permit fee, and that you have failed to attend previous meetings, and that the commission will require a representative to explain the work that has been done, because I do not know the exact extent of the work that's done.
Right, and we don't have any remediation plan, and the application is in limbo.
The application-
Didn't you mention at the last meeting, Mark had some health issues that we're dealing with? Okay. Want to make sure my
Oh, you're
thought
right.
process was straight.
We are moving a little bit more forward.
But it needs to move.
Well, it's been
More
2
than that.
months,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I mean, we certainly don't need, we don't want to pry into personal matters, but still, I don't know how everybody feels about this. I mean, we've got a violation, we can move to the next step. We can move, I think, didn't you send them a letter saying that we were pending further enforcement actions?
On April 30th, this letter serves as the third follow-up. Oh no, this is my original.
I mean, I can.
Well, I
get the
think we
file.
want to send a letter first saying there will be.
On April 30th, to avoid further enforcement action, please submit the required application prior to the next scheduled meeting of the Inland Wetlands Commission on May
Right.
12th. If you need additional assistance with the process, we strongly encourage you to schedule an appointment with our office no later than May 7th. So
And
she
that-
has come in, she has submitted things through the portal, she has done some things through Ann. However, I don't believe I can give you, included in your packet is a copy of the application. I do have it And
Oh, did
based
I
off
miss
of
that?
what I have, I anticipated that the commission would want more information.
Did I miss that? Let me go.
It should be after,
Yeah.
after the correspondence on it.
86.
Okay, violation remediation trees, violation remediation, clear cutting logging. I'm on the right one, right? 51 North Mountain Road. And the permit fee is not paid.
It wasn't as of this morning, I
Oh.
did not check before the meeting.
There was an email from May 9th from Ms. Chowdy, and it said, "I'll pay the invoice right away." But the term "right away" has to be defined. That's on the first page of this.
All right, so disturbed wetland area, they're saying is .75, I don't know what that means, .75 acres or .75,
I believe it's acres.
okay. So they are right, I mean, we don't know how many trees went down in the wetlands. And you said it was probably scores, right?
I did see a multitude of logs, I believe there's photos in there, no?
All right, well, is this on our agenda a little bit later? Yes, it
Yes.
is. Okay, well, let's, I think we might be able to do something here, so, okay, so let's wait and go through this when we get to it. Okay, 46 Green Ridge. Okay, sir, you can stay there, you can sit here. Elizabeth needs your name and,
I think I already gave her my.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
oh, okay,
sure,
okay,
sure,
good,
sure,
good,
sure,
good,
sure,
good,
I
good, good,
have
good, good.
filed, driving license, I think.
Okay,
So-
just hang on 1 second. We're gonna give you a chance to talk, but refresh our memory as to what this one's about, Laura.
This was a wetlands violation. I happened to be driving by and I noticed that there was tree work that had been performed in an area, had been cleared out. This was the construction of the volleyball court.
Ah, right, sorry. Okay, all right, how were you making out? How did you, what decisions did you come to?
Also, the first thing, and before the last meeting that we had here,
Yep.
that the first step that I was gonna make is that hire a scientist to get flag the wetlands, right?
Okay, yep,
The wetlands, I'm sorry. So, I didn't realize that it was so hard to get one, pretty much, especially this time of the year. I started calling everyone, but finally got someone that's gonna go to my house first.
good,
So, that's what, I came last week too
Yeah,
to
he
explain
came
that
on
to her.
Friday to let me know that he was
I
in
don't
the
know if it was
process.
Friday or Thursday, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, saying he was hiring somebody, he wasn't going to show up at the meeting tonight, so he surprised us with his presence to
No, I
say,
just read it.
because he doesn't
Good.
have the report
No,
yet.
and
But we're
over
happy to see you.
communication is a good thing.
And I think he already called you.
He did, one of the, Tom, I'm sorry, I don't have his last name,
I
did
have
give me a call. I spoke with him today
Okay,
a little bit about it and did discuss what the purpose of the flagging of the wetlands was. He did ask me on whether or not he's gonna require a full survey. I wanted to see, based off of the commission, I know previously we've accepted GIS kind of showing a rough estimate of the wetlands. I was interested in going out once the flagging was completed too,
Right.
to see the extent of how much of this was upland review area
Right.
cutting versus wetlands cutting.
right. Well, I said we,
It was the volleyball court in the corner, I
is
think,
the
was in the actual
it's, well,
wetlands.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then there were some trees taken
Mhm.
out in the, what the state thinks is guiding us generally in the general neighborhood of wetlands, which we're gonna find out. So are you under contract with him? Have you signed a contract with him?
Oh, I already gave him money, yeah.
That's what I needed to know, okay.
Yeah, because I think it was like a month ago, right, when you were passing my house. So the reason why, because it was pretty much was no.
There are no leaves.
Anything wrong, and
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't doing anything wrong, but
Right.
I'm sorry, like I said.
Yeah.
But the reason why we started cleaning is because I was talking to my neighbor in the back, and she started taking some trees down too, just to clean everything up. But at the end, everything looks to my property. But anyway, we're
Okay.
at least on the first step that hiring a professional to see what can we do.
Okay, well, that's good. I said, then you'll know where the wetlands are on your property, which will be very, very, very useful to you
So, like I
long-term
said,
and us
because
short-term.
There is no survey anywhere here, right?
There
No.
was not, I looked
No,
through the
on the
property, the
records.
only thing I had was the septic information that I made that copy for you.
Yeah, and I don't think, do you think the building department will have it?
Nope, I looked through all the files.
Also,
Well, he can, if you can use, I think for what your purposes are, I think you can you can give him your wetland soil scientist, give him the GIS map. You've got some nice landmarks on there as it relates to the volleyball court, right? Because we can
visually see that fairly easily.
we can see that pretty easily, so he can probably use that map and then just ask him, and he will do this, where he digs holes, he will put what they call flags, and he'll number them, and there'll be some flags. And then we can, for those flags, and you'll know, as it relates to the volleyball court, where those flags are, and then we can put visually pretty much close enough, right, on the, on the map. I mean, Laura can go out and verify everything once the flags are in.
3 minutes away from here anyway.
Yeah. So once you get the flags in, call
Yeah,
her,
like,
and then we'll find a way to get that on a GIS map. I don't think you have to go find an A2 survey or anything like that. It would be awesome, but I don't think it's necessary. Okay?
Was,
So,
The-
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
No,
no,
yeah,
I
no,
interrupted.
no, I was gonna try to wrap it
there
up.
wasn't any information on the septic map,
So we do
because
have a
wasn't that
septic
recently?
as-built, from 20, I can't recall what year,
I have
it was,
the-
2019?
I have the copy that you gave
The-
to me, if you wanna see it.
What do you got?
She gave me a
I
copy
can
of
have a
it.
copy of the septic.
No,
as-built.
I was just curious if there's
It
any
might be
wet,
helpful, but
wetland information on that, because,
sometimes they do with the soil testing.
yeah,
There is some information, but it's not enough, what they classify, they're not looking for the same things.
right, okay.
So,
Okay, so let us know. I'm sure he's a very busy person, but I would,
everyone,
but let's talk about having, staying with him, or her, I'm sorry, and getting this done in the next 30 days. Okay,
no,
so
no,
let's
like-
stay on him and get this done, get it flagged, so that Laura can be out taking a look at it by our meeting. Whoops. June 23rd, okay? How's that sound to everybody? It's like 5 weeks from today. So let's try and push him, right? Get it flagged, get the work done, get it flagged. I don't think we need a written report. So, you don't need if you want one, great, but we don't need a report as the soil types. Just where he found soil types, physically mark it with the little flags. Let's get that on the map, and let's see what that map looks like on the 23rd. And then we'll be able to determine what sort of remediation is good for the trees that were taken down and what the fate of the volleyball court is.
Okay,
Sound good?
no,
All right.
thank you.
Anything else, you guys?
Nope, I'm
So we're
good.
gonna take all the conversation here. All right, you can stay if you want. We're gonna have more fun.
I gotta
Um,
make dinner.
Oh, oh, good.
You know, I don't want to stir up a hornet's nest, but you mentioned your neighbor next door was taking down trees at the same time?
Oh, no, it wasn't like, because like, when I first got here, I explained that on the back of the property is like a creek, but when it rains, it looks like a river. Because all the water comes from the main road, that's I think it's Tower Road, that's on top. Also comes from, because she does have a pond in the front of it, and everything pretty much flooded. So, and last year when all the rain happens in Oxford and all that, it happened here too.
Yeah.
So it came, a lot of water and a lot of trees came down. So she was taking, not like live trees, like totally dead. So that's when it looks, a lot like I said, it looks clean to me.
Sorry to have stirred this up.
I will take a look.
That's what I sort of figured.
I'll take a look.
But everything is clean right now, like I'm saying. But I don't want to get anyone in trouble, that's all.
No.
No, like I said, but you gotta think about, like I said, taking trees out of wetlands. The problem with that is, there was, when that tree grew, it takes chemicals and nutrition out of that
You explain
soil.
that to me.
And if you pull the stuff out, you
Deplete
make the soil less rich.
Right.
You know, and the soil can die if it doesn't have trees and it doesn't have the right nutrition in there to support everything that lives in the soil, so, okay. All right, June 23rd, let's try and wrap this up for you,
Like I said,
okay?
I've been calling everyone's like, "Busy, I can be there like 8 weeks, 6 weeks." I was like, it's been a nightmare, to be honest.
Yeah,
'Tis the season.
yep,
Yeah,
it is.
Everyone's so busy, so that's why, I even called Stanford, Norwalk, and all the.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate your diligence and your interest. I really do.
Like I said, I just trying to do the right thing.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, go enjoy your
Thank
dinner.
Okay, take care, have a nice evening.
Thank you.
All right,
All right, we'll be
230
in touch.
230A Wiskaneer Road, another tree removal in wetlands. Second request is,
I did not receive any correspondence back on this one. This was another one that we received a complaint. This is an interesting one because according to the GIS, there is no wetland soils on the property. But when I go out there, there's the intermittent water course.
oh, right, okay.
I spoke to the gentleman in person when I was out there on the site.
Yeah,
I explained to him we needed an application. I followed up with the letter on April 15th saying I had received an application. I sent a second letter on May 1st saying you need to submit an application no
Right.
later than today. I have not received anything. I would like to go forward. I don't believe I sent him a I don't think I sent him a violation, but I
Let
would
me
like
look.
to go forward with it now.
I would too. I would too, right. Tell him that his cooperation is requested, otherwise the commission will move to further enforcement actions, which could involve fines.
Absolutely.
Everybody all right with that?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. 119 Obtuse Hill Road, officers report deep complaint.
This is an interesting one.
Oh,
So
good.
I received correspondence from Deep about 119 Obtuse Hill Road. You might be familiar with this if you're heading down almost into Bridgewater, right before you get to the bridge.
Uh-huh.
There's a property located on the right-hand side that has a shared driveway. During that terrible rainstorm in August, I want to say last year, the
Yeah.
driveway totally washed out.
Yeah,
This was during that rainstorm where we had said, hey, as long as you keep us updated, as long as you're not doing anything that
New and-
deviates from what was there originally.
Yeah.
If you wanna put your driveway back for safety purposes, by all means, like, put
Right.
your driveway back. We
Right.
need to be able to access. This is also an interesting one, cause it has a shared driveway. An ongoing neighbor dispute ensued, about the driveway. And putting it back, I have now driven by and was out on the property, the driveway has been restored. But the complaint itself was that there was an excavator in the wetlands, in the actual water course that's down there. I
okay.
did go out on the site, the property owner of 119 met me out there. There is no excavator in the wetlands, as far as I can, if it was there, I would be kinda surprised. It's a very steep incline. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they could get it down there, but I'm sure there was machinery to fill, that driveway back up because that had totally washed out. But as far as I'm visually, the hill is stable, it's actually has been planted, and there is vegetation coming in, so I don't know where you would like to go with this. I spoke with the property owner at 119 and I said, as I see it, I'm not seeing a violation here. The driveway was put back to what appears to be in the original condition. It was an anonymous complaint that was received by Deep. Deep forwarded it to me, so I went out and
Oh,
investigated.
so that's the deep,
That is
so
the Deep
anonymous to
component.
deep.
When Deep informed me,
Okay.
Deep has since asked me for any updates. I told them I was putting it on the commission. I've now, since I spoke with Deep originally, I've gone out to the site. I believe I was out there Thursday or Friday of last week. I can't remember exactly the date.
Well, you think it looks pretty stable to you?
It looks pretty stable to me.
Okay.
No tracks there?
I didn't see any tracks. It's even planted.
Oh, yeah, you
Close
figure
it.
sorry.
It might have been in
Might
there,
have
and then
been
they fixed it.
closed.
It might have been in there and fixed it, which would be all right.
Well, you figure it'd be 8 months ago now?
It's, well,
That-
I
that
know
was
it wasn't
repaired?
fixed 8 months ago. I know it was fixed way more recently than
Oh,
that.
was it?
Because
Ah.
I've been continuously going, like driving by that site
Mhm.
and seen that it washed out. Again, this has been a very contentious battle between the property owners to
Ah.
the point where, as far as the expenses on fixing the driveway, I told them it's not the town purview. Anything that they do further than what was originally there would require a wetlands permit based off of the commission determination. It does appear to be stable. I don't know how the commission would like me to proceed with it.
Well, first
I
off,
assume it's the next door neighbor?
Shared driveway.
Okay, yeah, that could be the anonymous,
don't know. Well,
complaint.
first off,
That's speculation, that's
bravo for Deep for
Yep,
taking the
yep.
complaint and getting it to us. Bravo to them, and bravo to them for following up. So bravo, Deep. If your assessment is
Stable.
it's stable,
Right.
there's no
Recourse,
evidence of
right.
any long-term damage to the wetlands, there's plantings in place, I don't think that there's
I
a
agree.
violation for anybody, any remediation action that
I agree.
anybody could take. I mean, it is possible that when they did it, they had to put an excavator in the wetlands, that's possible, that does happen, but that's a temporary thing.
And there was, from what I can tell, there was no trees that were ever taken down on that site. It was a washed out, totally soiled, exposed, whatever the piping that goes underneath for their utilities, the tube was out and
The culvert, I mean, the,
conduit.
Conduit, there
I
we go.
totally lost the word too for
Ah.
a second. The conduit was exposed. All of that is now filled in and stabilized with plantings, so.
Do you need anything to make your life better from us for Deep to wrap this up? You want us to do a little motion, or will the discussions suffice, or what might
Wha-
make your life easier?
What would you be comfortable with?
Yeah,
If
what-
you wanna do a motion saying that at this time we don't find any enforcement
Okay.
action is necessary,
okay,
Yeah.
that would be
that's good.
very helpful.
It's warranted.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, after review of the matter and based on a recent on-site inspection by the Wetlands Enforcement Officer, the commission has determined that no violation exists and no remediation, no further remediation or application is required at this moment.
I'll second that.
Okay, Bob
Do
seconds
do we
that.
wanna put in the, number?
118, 2 Silver.
Yeah, I guess I should add to the motion, again, the address, certainly
Yeah.
WV 25-4, 230A Wisconsin Road, if you could
No,
just.
that's a different one.
Oh,
This one does not
119,
have,
sorry.
this one does not have a,
It doesn't have anything, so in the matter of, like I said, 119 Obtus Hill Road, the commission, based on a verbal report from the Wetlands Enforcement Officer who has been there recently, no violation exists, no additional remediation is required.
I'll second that.
That's the correct motion.
Yeah.
Bob seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Anything else on enforcement?
No, but I'm getting plenty of complaints, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, we have one group in the audience. They are 33 Crestview Drive. So I'd like to make a motion that we go to 6B, 33 Crestview Drive. It's a propane tank and a gas line, so. Let me get your application. We'll need your names and address for.
Yeah, someone just needs to second the moving to.
Oh, I need that too.
second,
All right, Tom seconds, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you.
Oh, sure, that make it easy.
Thank you. Jumping up to get the folder here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so. So you are the Wigleys?
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, let's just take a look at the application here. So propane tank next to the right side of the house. I'm having trouble reading all of this. Total acreage on the property is 1285-ish? I don't know what that means, 1285, do you, I see this is 1.285 acres?
Acres is what I'm assuming. This is an
Or
interesting.
1.289,
89.
899, right, and disturbed wetland area, 2.5, what is the whole thing, wetlands?
Correct.
Ah,
The entire property is purple shaded wetlands.
okay,
Or deep wetlands there.
where, here we go, all right. Okay, so I'm looking at the map here. And this, okay, here, help me with some of the notations on this map. You guys can come on over here. So this your home.
Correct.
So one dash, what does that say? One no above? What is that, what does this say? Is this where the propane tank goes?
Yeah, they want it right there because there's an air conditioner thing here.
Okay.
It has to be 10 feet away from that, 5 feet. So this is the only place he could put it, so.
So I'm just looking for something that's, because this doesn't say propane tank. It says one no above.
1-100 above ground propane tank.
Oh,
Where?
okay, the 100, yeah, 100 gallon above ground tank.
propane tank.
Ah, so this is the propane tank.
Correct.
There's already one there right now?
No,
No,
there isn't
no,
one.
when we moved into the house, there was, well, when we bought the house, there had been an insert in the fireplace,
Yeah.
and people took it. They didn't retrofit,
And we
the
tried to get it
fireplace, and
fixed
they've not
and
been able to
wasn't in
use
our
it.
budget to have the fireplace redone.
Yeah, so they wanted $7,000 or $8,000.
I don't blame you.
Decided to go with the gas log.
Okay.
Until we pay for everything, then they say we have to have all this, and they won't give us our money back.
Oh dear.
Because we've gone past the point.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, it's not right next to you're not putting it right next to your home, you're putting it 10 feet away, right?
Well, it's right up against this is the porch right here. but
Oh, it's the porch.
Up in the porch, yeah.
Okay,
The
so
oil
the X
tank for
does mark the
heater's
spot.
back here.
What's that?
The oil tank for our heating is actually right here in
Okay.
this corner, so.
All right.
It's actually closer to the wetland.
Yeah, I see you guys have, so do you understand what this map is? Yeah.
Map at home.
Oh, cool.
So
All right, good.
I printed it out.
All right, so, okay, so you're just putting it down on just legs, there's no concrete pad or anything like
They're
that?
gonna bring a pad, a little
Okay.
pad, 30-inch by 30-inch pad, which I already leveled on top for.
It's a pretty small tank.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a tiny tank.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
a gas
for a
log.
fireplace.
We don't use it for anything other than fireplace, so, or we're not going to use it.
Okay, so you are next to the right side of the house, and I'm having trouble reading this, and run gas line exterior of the house, so the tank is gonna be on a 30 by 30 pad?
30 by 30, he said, roughly, and then there's gonna be a stainless steel pipe running along the wall
Yeah,
to the fireplace.
installed on a 30-inch by 30-inch concrete pad. Okay, just do me a favor, I just changed that, so, I just added to your application, right, just propane tank to be installed on a 30 by 30-inch concrete pad.
Okay.
So just drop your initials in there. Okay. All right, anybody have any other questions? So we really don't know if this is wetland soils or upland review, we just know what the state tells
I
us,
just know
so.
what the state tells me on this one.
Okay.
Since it was saying it was in the actual wetlands, I couldn't do any kind of agent approval, so I
Right.
had to bring it before the commission.
Right, so, I mean, as you go forward on anything, you know, in your home, anything is, you know, like extending the porch or swing sets or patios or fire
Shed.
pits,
Shed.
sheds, extending the driveway, taking down any trees, in the future, requires a wetlands permit.
Do you think this house was built before this was known as wetlands?
I have no way of knowing that.
You know, grandfathered in?
No, there's no grandfathering with wetlands. There's no grandfathering, there's no grandfathering with
Oh,
wetlands.
no, but if the building were there to begin with,
I don't,
you know, and then all of a sudden wetlands were
Well, no, the
discovered.
creek runs right next to the house.
I'm sorry, I'm not following, I'm not following it, Dave.
Oh, if the whole lot is wetlands,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
There's a house in the wetlands.
yes, there is.
So the house must have been built before wetlands were identified there?
I don't know.
All right. How old's the house, just out of curiosity?
74, I think.
Yeah,
We've only had 2 years.
Yeah,
Do you think it's possible?
I don't know.
Oh, okay,
I don't
just
know.
interesting.
Our oil tank is almost
20 feet.
in the wetland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
In
right
the-
there.
In the area.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
said these, so I'm just taking you through this a little bit because you are new and we had talked, a lot of things you were just not familiar with. These GIS maps are directionally correct. They're not precise.
Right.
Because they're based on aerial surveys, okay? So it is very possible, like I said, that this is, you have wetlands, and in Connecticut, they determine it based on the soils. It's not whether there's water, it's not whether there's plants, it's whether there's turtles that live there. It's based on the soils and the soil types. If your whole property could have wetland soils, or it might not. And that was part of the conversation we had with the gentleman here. He wants to do some things, and he can either go with this map that the state is showing, or you can get a Connecticut soil scientist to come out and dig some holes and actually tell you where the wetland lines are.
How does that apply to, like, the septic tank and stuff? Or does it?
If your septic tank is in wetland soils, then
Yeah,
you might not have
septic's
had
right
great
here.
perks, right, for the fields. You might not have had great perks, but a lot of people were putting in septic tanks with terrible perks. So that is something, again, long-term, if you're gonna stay there for a while, you might wanna know
Yeah.
where the wetland lines are, and do you have wetland soils in your leach field, which, not, long-term isn't a good thing, because the water will stay.
Right.
So, that's just something for you to think about. You don't need to do it for this, but that's just a
Long-term.
long-term,
What would they do in the
informational.
future if, you know, for example, they had to replace the septic
That's
tank?
what we were just talking about.
Yeah, no, but I mean, what,
I don't know.
you know, long-term in the future, just,
That would probably
would they be allowed to
determined by
replace
the
it?
perk test.
Yeah, be determined by the perk tests. Yeah, determined by the perk tests. Okay, the other thing is, this is, new business, state of Connecticut law, asks for 2 weeks between the submittal of an application before we can approve it, so we can't approve it tonight. But I just asked my colleagues, I don't see any objection here, you know, for something like this in your circumstances. So it will be on the agenda next week for old business, and we'll be able to take action on it. Okay? All right. You're welcome to come. You don't have to. Okay, I guess is what we're trying
You
to tell
answered
you.
my question. I was
What's
gonna
that?
ask if they had to come, you know, in June
Yeah.
9th, so,
So,
good.
all right, and then, I said, we'll make a motion, and then, assuming it's approved, after a couple of days, you'll get a letter, you know, confirming everything, okay?
I think that's June 9th is the next meeting?
What's that, June?
June 9th?
Yeah,
Because of the Memorial
Okay.
Weekend, yeah.
yeah, Memorial Weekend. Okay,
All right.
all right, again, you're welcome, all right, I'll make a motion to continue W-25-24 33 Crestview Drive to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second that.
Okay, Bob seconds that, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, so now we will, well, again, we don't have any public hearings, we will return to old business. So 17 Cove Road, this was the tree removal and remediation.
This was the one from First Light, correct?
Yeah, this is the one where
Yeah, they clear cut the
they
hill.
were gonna find a way to put 6 trees in something, right?
Well,
Yes.
you couldn't put them in the top section where we have jurisdiction. because
No, but he
it's
can put
much of a
someplace
hill.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put someplace else. So let's see what we got. Did we get anything from him? I don't usually everybody's, your guy, Amy is so good about,
So, Anne normally handles the Wetlands Commission, she's actually at training this week.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
Amy
Anne,
was
right.
filling in, she did a great job. It's interesting, I received, I believe, an email from this person's office, the application professional, asking me for a copy of the agenda for this evening's meeting, to present, I'm not quite sure now, because I don't see him in the audience, but he has been communicative before.
Well, you showed up pretty late last time.
I know he was jumping a few meetings, so he might have been juggling, thinking it would take him later to get to where we are on the agenda.
Yeah, I think the ones here are the ones since last meeting.
It is new since last
So these are
meeting.
so originally there were 4 trees that we asked to
Yes.
plant. Sharon wasn't here.
What,
And then the last meeting
we jumped it, is this,
we added
here
2
we
more
go.
trees.
Oh, here we go,
I
this
think at the
Cove
prior
Road.
meeting said at least 4. Which I took as literal for.
So these are the six trees. This is not in that folder, that's what I was looking for, so thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Okay, 1C, 1C, I assume that's a tree. 1QA, he is gonna put them in that area. All right, so how are we gonna do this?
Well, I don't know if these were added to the application.
Well, it would be great if they did. It would be great if they took this, right? It would be great if they took this
Mm-hmm.
and added it to their application, but on the other hand, why don't we just approve this? Why don't we just approve this remediation plan by P.W. Scott Engineering?
Do that?
Why don't we just do that, noting the addition of 6 native species trees? Butternut hickory, ooh, very cool.
I'm good for that.
Why don't we just do that?
Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Laura, you don't.
What's
you
that
don't have a
revision date, 4:30?
problem. This is tiny little
That's
writing.
why I was asking for a confirmation on it.
4:25, yeah,
4:25?
no, 4:30, 4:30,
yes.
revised 6 trees above.
He's actually walking in as we speak.
Hey
Look at
there, we
that.
were just
Hi there.
going
We were
through
just
your
talking
stuff.
What timing?
What time?
Should have waited another 3 minutes.
You're down to a nanosecond.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was actually hiding in the car, no, just kidding.
I'm sure you're taking calls in the car.
Exactly.
Good.
Hi, so basically, the last time I was here, you asked for some additional plantings
Yep,
above the 210 line. There's 6 trees shown
Awesome.
here as we discussed,
awesome.
2 initially, 4 more, and where are they?
They are
Red
3
maples,
maples, 1 butternut hickory, and,
White oak.
and 1 white oak.
2 hickory, actually.
2 hickory, yeah, well, just, yes, red maple, hickories, and oak,
Yeah.
perfect,
That's what we have in the site.
yep.
Bond amount?
You have a bond amount, $4,000,
Yes.
okay.
I took the price from Planner's Choice, multiplied by 4, that was the labor, and added it all up.
Okay, well, here's the good news is we only have to bond the materials,
Oh, okay, good.
yeah, in Brookville, we just bond the materials, so it'll be a $1,000 bond,
Yeah, okay, fine.
okay? All right, well, I have something that, gentlemen, I think we can approve. I don't know how everybody feels about that. Thank you, Rob, for seeing that. I didn't see it, and it's not in this folder here, but it will be when we're done.
Yep.
Okay, someone will make a motion, or I'll do it? I'll make a motion then to approve the application, the remediation, bleh. I wanna make a motion to approve the application for W-25-8, 17 Cove Road, which will resolve a violation and provide remediation to the area. This, the plan is defined on a set of drawings entitled Remediation Plan by P.W. Scott with an original date
I've revised.
of,
11/11.
yeah, the original date of 11/11/24 and a last revision date of 4/30/25, which shows the addition of 3 red maples, 2 butternut hickories, and 1 white oak, and to also set a bond for a period of 3 years of $1,000 and request that the property owner provide an update on their viability. You're gonna plan them this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
November 25, November 26th, and November of 2025, November of 2026, and November of 2027 on their viability. And the bond will be removed upon confirmation that 4 of the 6 are still thriving.
Second.
Rob seconds. All those any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, you and your client are, and thank you very much. This has
Thank
been,
you.
we appreciate your thoroughness and,
timing,
and the timing, of
Right.
course, and,
Timing, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
and everything. So thank you very much.
Okay, and I'll get a resolution in the mail or something, or?
Yes.
Yeah, it's approved now, but yeah, you'll get a piece of
I need it for
paper in the
first
mail.
sight, that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah.
It might
Yeah.
not begin till next week, I'm
That's
a little
fine.
short-staffed, but yes, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're a little light in the office. Right. Oof.
I think he's very thorough,
He is, yeah.
very thorough.
Makes everything,
Yep, he's very, very good.
makes everything easy. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this in the file. Whoop. All right, so that is Cove Road. So now we're on to 172 Long Meadow Hill Road. I think, I'll just start. Laura was able to get, very recently, a, two, right? We have 2 responses?
Just one response, the other response could be
Is a
for it,
maybe,
I'm
yeah.
not 100% sure, because they didn't say which property they're looking for.
Right, and the one response is from an engineering firm in Connecticut, and they say that they are, this is from Land Tech, and they say that they are willing to provide a peer review on completing the design alternatives, assessing wetlands impacts, which I assume means they have a Connecticut wetlands soil scientist on staff. And then again, reviewing any construction-related compliance with applicable regulations. So I think that is exactly what we are looking for, and I believe, I would assume that applicants, the property owner's agent, is looking for as well. So I'm hoping you can get this over to them. They just got this today. Get this over to them today, and hopefully we can proceed so that we can get, that the commission can get some insight, particularly on the wetlands impacts, of the original plan versus the modification. Because I was thinking about this a little bit, between our last meeting and now. From my standpoint, yes, it is very important to understand any engineering impacts and can it be built, but, and I appreciate the agent's interest in that as a priority, but also I think for me as a priority is just, can you just look at even what they've got, and can you make an assessment on wetlands impacts of the crossing and the the wall versus the culverts? I'm just very interested, very interested in that, because I said, I'm just going on, at the risk of repeating myself, stuff, that I found on the web from rhodeisland.gov about wetlands crossing, and from Massachusetts River and Streams, crossing guidelines, and, that's what I'm going on. So hopefully you're gonna get this.
I will get that over to the agent for 172, who was informed not to appear today, because when we spoke last on Friday, I did not have a single quote yet. We have put out our feelers, and this is the first response. We have gotten responses that different companies were too busy, so I do understand applicants' frustration in that as well.
Yep. Okay. All right, well, hopefully we can, like I said, we can progress this and come up with, like I said, because with a, an opinion, again, a professional opinion of wetlands impact.
sidewalks.
because that's what we don't have, you know, that's what we don't have. Okay, that goes here. All right, well, then I'll make a motion to continue 172 Long Meadow Hill Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second that, okay.
Okay, I don't know who seconded first.
Craig did.
We both started simultaneously, so I stopped.
Tom.
Okay.
Tom
I guess I didn't stop.
seconded it.
Tom's
Any,
louder.
any discussion on the
Well,
motion?
that is usually true, but.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, 151 North Mountain Road. That's here. Let me put this back. Oh, my goodness. She puts them in the front, and I usually put them in the back, so.
We keep you on your toes.
I am trying. Okay, what do we have here? So even without the permit fee being paid, I do not, what is this one? Violation remediation. Violation remediation, let's look at this one. There we go. So, Laura, as far as I know, which could be wrong, this is the first time that I am seeing a map.
Correct.
So, I don't know if everybody have this map, or you wanna take a look?
believe so, yes.
So I'm looking at this property, and I see purple, and I see a pond and another pond, and I see scribbles. And I see something called dead trees falling over 25 as a note. The application says trees and branches have been cut down and/or chopped that were dead or down to prevent danger, accident of falling trees and branches. It's almost 7.94 acres, disturbed wetlands, 0.75, we assume that's acres, but I don't know for sure. Total wetland on the area, 1147. Okay, so we really don't know how many trees were taken down, which is something that Ann noted to them on Friday. So this got out on Friday, so we haven't had anything back from them in the last business day and a half.
We did get one response saying if they got us the information, would we be able to upload it to the portal, to which I don't think the response came in of that they were expected to upload the information and provide information. I never received an email of any additional information. I do not know if something went to Ann, but her away message is up saying to contact the land use office and that she's out of office, so.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't understand that, there it is, yeah, sorry, thank you. I saw the Thursday, May 8th, and then this, so I didn't understand how this was being threaded. So so they're saying, will we be notified if more information is needed? So the answer is, yes, you are gonna be notified, and then the answer is, yes, please refer to Ann's note of the 9th. We need to know how many trees were taken down and where. We need to better understand their conversation about danger. Danger to what?
They said persons.
Where, Dave?
On page 2 of the application at the bottom, what alternative
Right.
causing less or no environmental impact were
Okay, well,
considered?
okay, but I'd like to understand what does that mean? Are they, is it
They
near
took
our,
them down because they were afraid somebody's gonna get hurt, that's the way I interpret it.
Yes, that's,
why?
That's what
There's
I'm
no
saying.
house there.
well, I guess they need to explain it.
That's what I'm saying, they need to explain the danger
Right.
here. Again, Ann is right, we need to know the numbers, and I think the point should be made, yeah, we need to know that,
Is the wood still on the property, or has it been taken off? Really
right,
just dropped in place?
right. And is this dead and trees falling over, and what's this number 25? Is that 25 trees they took down? That's, so that would be a further clarification, right, how many trees were taken down?
Where's 25?
This little map
On the map.
here,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this little map here has a hand note on it, dead and trees falling over, 25. Oh, and then, yes, have the trees been removed? And maybe maybe a last note saying, you know, that this matter was brought to your attention, you know, on March 12th. And the commission is looking to resolve this. It's looking for a complete application with this information submitted June 9th?
Yeah.
June 9th?
That's the next meeting, yes.
Yeah, so be submitted by June 6th?
9th.
Well, the 6th, because we need it before the 9th. Yeah,
Yeah,
so for the,
okay.
by
That's
June,
still almost a
by
month.
June 6th, or the commission will consider further enforcement action. Yeah, we need it before the 9th.
Yeah, no, but that's reasonable. It's almost a month away.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking the 9th for us, and then we need to back it up.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, thank you, because I know it's a lot of, writing an email, it's easy to say, but it's not easy to write, so we appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, if they took down 25 trees, that's a lot of trees, and they should plan, if they read the minutes or are watching, we're gonna be talking about replacing a number of those in the remediation plan.
How do they
One quick question.
verify
Yeah.
that there were 25
Why in the
trees?
GIS map, does it have the house showing one direction, but the house actually goes in the other direction?
The house is
Am I looking
parallel
at
to
the
the
wrong house?
road.
Right, here it shows it perpendicular to the road almost. That's,
I don't see the house.
I didn't
the
see,
house is right here.
that little gray thing, this little
Isn't that
gray
the house? Yeah,
business?
there's your driveway coming in.
Is it, that's a
The
drive?
house is right here.
Okay, so,
What's this then?
It's not on this map. The house is right here.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so that actually makes the trees,
This map is probably from before they built the house.
before they built the house.
It's not that old.
No, it's not.
Huh.
So some of these trees could endanger the house. That's what brought it to my attention, because I knew the house was parallel to the road.
Well, good, they can explain that to us.
This house, is it part of a subdivision?
No,
Okay, because when I was on the planning commission, there was a subdivision built and it was around there someplace. but-
On the left side, right side going up.
Yeah.
The big
okay.
one.
How do we know there was 25 trees?
I don't know.
oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Is
I
there a
don't know.
way of verifying it?
Nope, they're gonna tell us. And then Laura will go out and we'll have some
Well, I
understanding.
think the operative thing is how many trees came down in the wetlands.
Yeah.
Because.
Or the no, and the
Like-
upland review area. Wetlands and the upland review area,
Both.
both.
Yeah, house definitely. It's not showing in the GIS, or I'll shrink it down so
Yeah,
you
it's
can see
not-
in
it's
relation
not
to
on
the
here.
road.
You couldn't miss it. It's freaking enormous.
No,
It's a big house up
so
there.
that must be the neighbor's house.
Yeah, this is,
Not that one, this one. You got one right in the, it's on the same property, that's what threw me
I
off.
don't think there's a house there. There's a house, these two houses. I think this is just what they built because they had to cut through the rock
Mm-hmm.
to get the driveway in to build the house.
That's
I
the
think
big house
all
you're
this
talking about.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, at the end of Carmen Hill, almost across the street.
diagonal across, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's Carmen Hill
That's
on your
just,
map.
I think that's just the driveway.
Well, I'm assuming too that if the house, by the way, was in the upland review area, we would have seen it in wetlands.
I remember they came before us.
Did
I
they?
believe they did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I believe there is a wetlands
the house.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
there is.
Is there? Okay, great,
Yeah,
thank
I
you for
remember that.
remembering, okay,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think it actually predates me.
Ooh. Well, that's good.
What's she say?
Then the
That's
wetlands will
old.
be, then the wetlands will be flagged. The wetlands will be flagged, and we'll know, yeah.
They apparently have some homework to do, but we would've pulled that for them when they came in.
Bob remembers,
remember,
Just
I'm-
what you want when you're short-staffed.
Only for a week. That's a good point, though.
Oh, yeah, you actually have a complaint here. Oh, well,
That's, yes.
yeah, okay. Well, and we don't have any pictures yet, right, of this area?
I thought there were some pictures included in the violation folder.
Okay, I have clear cutting and logging. If we have them, they're not,
Handsaw?
Then maybe I do not have any
Yeah.
photographs for this particular.
Yeah, yep, bullshit. These trees are huge.
This is a one that we
That's why it
received a
stuck out to
complaint,
me.
we went out there, the property owner did
Mm.
invite us on site, we did walk the site with the property owner
Okay.
and was absolutely told that this met the threshold of requiring a permit.
Is that Mansa or Jowdy?
Pardon?
Is it Mansa or Jowdy?
Mr. Manza. He's who we walked the property with, and, then we've been struggling trying to get a better grasp of, what actually occurred.
yeah, I see your little note to the file, you do the woodpeckers and high wind, rain. Excuse
Bless
me.
you.
Thank you. High wind and several trees within the wetlands came down or died, and therefore he was removing them for safety purposes, but there's no numbers of them. So we observed tracks from the machinery that appears within wetlands and the upland review area, with several logs. Oh, I'm
Bless you.
sorry.
I apologize.
So I guess we're gonna probably need some, they can, and they can provide pictures of the area with the application. So we can add that to this wonderful email. Then we'll have some pictures,
Yes.
you know, pictures.
Maybe add a picture of
book.
the trees that were trucked to the back of the property. I don't see the answer.
Okay. Okay, so if you need someone to look at the email before it goes out, I'm happy to do so. I'm gonna go out, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
I know, 'cause you're short. I know you're
I am
missing one.
short.
You're short, well, you're missing a person. All right, well, with that, I'll make a motion to continue W-25-23, 51 North Mountain Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting, with the understanding the land use office will get an email as we verbally described to them out to the applicant asking for their additional details.
I will second that.
Okay,
I thought
second.
I heard someone else speaking.
Yeah,
I'm
not
trying
that I
not to
know of.
speak over people.
I'll give you a chance.
Okay, so Tom seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, so new business, old business, we took care of all that. Correspondence, pond treatments, thank you for letting us know. Review of the previous minutes. I have a note, Elizabeth wants to make, a change to it, being a little more precision about, a member's absence and the timings. You wanna make that change, right?
Yeah, it didn't
Okay.
get noted in it.
Okay. And then, this is minor, but, but on line 27, it talks about getting it from the contractors. The responsible party is the town. So if there's a possibility, can we replace contractors with the town of Brookfield? Okay, and I didn't see anything else. Anybody?
No.
All right,
No,
well, then I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for April 28th with the two corrections. First on line 27, and then where is this, at 8 o'clock? And then the enhancement to the, line 208. Line 208 and line 216, update with the times. Second? Tom, seconds?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
I
opposed?
abstain.
I'll abstain, I wasn't here.
Thank you. We have, so motion carries 3-0 with 2 abstentions. Man. Informal discussion. So, I just have one thing, 2 things, actually. I think I'd like to write a little note to the Board of Selectmen on 2 things. First, we have so many people that are unaware, of wetlands, taking down trees in wetlands. I mean, how many have we had here? A dozen in the last year? Easily.
That have been caught.
That have been caught. And I think the vast majority of people are unaware. And so I'm wondering if there's anything that the town can do. I mean, heck, we put signs up to talk about burn bans. We put signs up to talk about the penguin plunge, over by the, and I don't know if there's something,
Maybe-
I don't think people go to the website.
Maybe put it in Spotlight.
That's what I was thinking.
Maybe
You
the
know, the
Spotlight?
Park and Rec, although I don't know if they would do it, but they publish, what is it, quarterly, activities going on. Maybe there could be a blurb in there, although
Maybe.
that's a different, department.
I don't know.
But I do
Yeah.
believe that goes to every address in Brookfield, and it's mailed, it's hard copy.
We can certainly ask them. It doesn't hurt to ask anybody, but I think the Spotlight is a perfect one. Maybe we can put something in there to say, look, and I'm
That's
happy to write
online
it. I'm
you're
happy to
talking
write
about?
something, about the importance of, before, check your GIS map before you cut. I mean, it'll be something better than that, but I think we'd like to.
Like a call before you dig kind of deal?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
call
called
before you
before
dig,
you
You'd
right?
have to put an
Yeah.
explanation of what a GIS map is, because
Right,
there are a
Right,
lot of
I
people
think
wouldn't
I
know
would
what
write
a
something a little
GIS
differently,
map is.
right, to say, look, if you're starting to take down trees, you should check with the land use office. If you know you have wetlands on your property, then you need an application, before you take down
Well,
trees.
they
in
may
your
not know
what
what
I would do
wetlands
is,
Hang on, one second, and then I'm gonna let you talk. And then, if you're unsure, the land use office can provide you with some maps, to your point. I don't know what a GIS map is, so yes, you first, and then you.
No, you covered it. They may not know what a wetlands is,
They might not.
but they come in here, they get a better idea.
Right.
That's correct.
Don't put yourself in jeopardy,
Right.
sir.
Yeah, no, I would just do, if you're planning to cut down trees, notify the land use office before you do it. And, yeah, people don't know if they have wetlands, they don't know what a GIS map is
And
necessarily.
every once in a while, they aren't accurate, like 2:30.
Right, so they're not accurate, right.
the unfortunate thing is, I don't think anyone has figured out recently what the best way is to reach the max population. Because even with the POCD survey, we had that, how many places, and after the results came back, people were like, oh, when did this happen?
Mhm.
It's like,
They did a
every-
press release.
yeah, a press release, it was shared on, I think, every Facebook page that has any relation to Brookfield.
Yeah, but not every, not every resident goes to Facebook.
Well, I agree,
No,
but
and,
there was also a press release.
What else can we do?
No,
I think what we
what
should
else can
do
we
is,
I realize there's not much else you can do, I'm just pointing out the fact
They-
that
it
it is
should-
incredibly difficult.
I
it's
believe
very
it should
difficult.
be
To
a
reach
mailing
It's
to
very
every
difficult
address
to
in
reach everyone.
Brookfield, just a hard copy mailing.
The only other thing that I could think of, and I'm even hesitant to suggest this,
Throw it out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
is to.
Knock on doors?
No,
No,
no.
to your point about the Parks and Rec for different programs, to set an educational wetlands program and have an educational night of somebody actually presenting. I don't know if we'd get any feedback off of it. I don't know if anyone would even sign up for it. And I would not be the expert for it.
Well, yeah, but we could even, you could
I
even.
think you do have that new title.
Well, you could even, I don't know what this is, I don't know what this is, but it could even be more than just wetlands, right? Because the zoning's got the same problem. They have a similar problem
They have a
in nature.
similar problem, but
Yes.
because they have to pull a building permit, I mean, I look at every single building
Yeah.
permit that goes before the town of Brookfield. I have an email that comes to me, it's every single building permit.
Right.
And they are, and the land use staff is fantastic, I have to give them a lot of credit, particularly, the health department, anytime he's doing any kind of septic, I am the first one notified if he sees wetlands on the property and lets me know. It's tree cutting, that's really the issue.
It's
I mean,
yeah.
Because it doesn't require a permit through zoning.
Right.
Since it does, and it doesn't require a permit through building.
I like the idea of trying to get the
Huh.
word out.
Huh.
I'm just kind of pointing out the fact that it's incredibly difficult.
I agree with you, I agree.
It's gotta be something where there's universal coverage in the town, whatever it is.
As soon as you figure that out, let me
Yeah,
know,
I
let
don't
Laura
think it's-
know.
I don't think the solution is online either, because people don't necessarily
I agree.
visit the Brookfield website.
I fully
or
agree.
Facebook or anything like that.
I mean, I can do Spotlight, I can also, if we can come up with something that is visually appealing, and I'll start working on something, I have a few ideas.
I'd
That's
ask Park
great.
and Rec if you could, if we could include something.
Again, just think about printing costs too. To do something included, couldn't be all that large, because
Correct.
they have their own.
Yeah, no, just a few sentences, it doesn't have to be a big
So,
deal.
I mean, I'd be happy to talk to my counterpart in Parks and Rec.
I'd like a
Yeah,
full page.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's something else, when you mentioned that we had, what, 25 violations in the last year that we,
I don't know, I don't think I said 25, I was thinking about a dozen, but that's okay, yeah.
well,
We've had like
it's,
4 in the last month.
well,
We had 9
it's,
last
it's
year.
X times as many, except they're undetected, nobody knows, and,
Nobody knows.
you know, it's just sort of luck.
And if you get the word out, even if you don't get the word out to everybody, what we do see is that neighbors, when there is activity occurring, have absolutely no problem calling our office and letting us know.
Which is awesome,
Well, some do, but some don't, some,
A
you know.
lot do. A
Yeah.
lot do.
which is good.
I know, but then you have to imagine
Well,
how
I'm just
many
saying, anything,
people
No, I know.
anything
don't
we can
bother.
do. So,
You'd be amazed how many people do.
so, but, and
I
that's
get
just,
complaints.
that's just one. The other one is, you know, when we all drive, squirrels don't make it across the road, opossums don't make it across the road, raccoons don't make it across the road, birds don't, and I'm always heartsick. But somebody hit the beaver.
Oh, I
The
saw
road
that.
At Merwin, on the Merwin Brook Pond, sometime Friday night into
What
Saturday.
happened?
Is that when it was?
Yeah,
What happened?
there's a beaver dam on Merwin Brook Road.
Right.
And Saturday morning when I left my home, somebody overnight hit one of the beavers and he was
Oh,
dead.
geez.
I saw the picture of it.
You know, and
Well, those things, you know, they
What's that?
dart out in the middle of the road
Yeah.
sometimes, and
so,
I got it emailed.
you know, so I don't know, maybe, I said this one is, because it's not just beavers, it's turtles. You know, it's turtles and
turtle
it's
crossing signs
frogs,
going
it's the
up.
things that live in wetlands that are all working on the next generation.
The squirrels are too quick. You can't miss them.
You can't, yeah, but it's, you know, everybody's heartsick when they die, right? But this was one of the more magnificent animals that lives in Brookfield, you know?
It was a good size.
It was a
not tiny.
magnificent animal. I mean, I might wanna make him more important than any other animal that is killed, you know, but, yeah,
oof.
yeah, it was awful. It's
It's
just
not the picture I got,
awful.
but yes.
It's
Thanks,
just
Tom.
awful.
Hey,
Yeah, you know, and
Just
so
letting
something
you all
about
know.
awareness of people slowing down or going slower.
Not on 130.
Well, you know, if it's the
Not
middle
anywhere
of
in
the
the
night
state.
and it's
So-
dark,
It doesn't
you-
matter.
you can
That's more
miss
important.
those things.
Should
The
go
more-
slower at
To
night.
go slower at
Right,
night.
right.
So I don't know if there's something else that we can make people aware of. Like everybody says, well, you know, we want to keep Brookfield rural, and we like that, and we like the nature in rural. Well, you know what? Go slower, and we'll have more of it. You know, so maybe there's two things. I don't know if there's two things we can do. I said because there's turtles all over the place, and they're trying to find their spots.
We actually, I have interesting news to report on that one, believe it or not, for turtle crossings. We have 3 new turtle crossing signs that are going up in town.
Right, I
That
saw
are
that.
being pushed
good.
by the Conservation Commission, they actually went ahead, so there will be one over near, I should know this, cause I
Where-
looked at the
someplace,
map while
wherever,
we're there, but
yeah.
there are 3 new turtle crossing signs that
What-
will be
okay.
going up in town.
Any idea what happened to the one that was on Mountain Road?
It's still there, no?
Is it?
Yes.
I'll have to look, is it really, were you driving more than I do?
And on Elbow Hill.
I was looking, the one time I was on Mountain Road, I'm like, what happened to it?
It's the,
But if you say it's
Well,
there,
We're
I'll
all
believe
set-
you.
we're all done, right? Yeah.
What's that?
We're all done tonight, right?
Yeah, I just, if there's, like, so that would be the second thing. Anything we can do to get people to understand,
So I can
going a
try
little
to
slower can help.
Draft an ad for Spotlight, and I can either send it to the commission for their review or suggestions for editing, and you can get back to me before that.
I
The thing
Brenda,
with Spotlight is, I'm sorry, just one quick
Yeah.
second. I need the information prior to, I think it is like a week before the end of the month.
Okay.
Because that's when it goes in the ad, and I have to get it over to the first selectman's office, and she puts together the Spotlight newsletter that goes out.
All right, well, Wednesday morning it's supposed to rain, so why don't I try and write something up on those two items? You know, tree cutting, check before you cut.
And I'll also have, try to brainstorm and get some
You
visual
know what-
graphic.
Hang on, Dave, 1 second.
Add something to catch the eye, cause we've kind of tweaked things like the no mow May signs and
Yeah.
various other things in our office, and we'll see what we can do.
things get a
You
lot more
might want
attention with an
to
image.
Bring it up to the Conservation Commission as well,
Yeah.
as far as if there's any kind of collaborative effect for the latter of the two, particularly of the slowing down on the road for wildlife. I know they were the ones who pushed the turtle crossing signs, and it is something very near and dear to their heart.
Yeah. Yes, Dave?
well, nobody wants to hit an animal anyway. We have speed limit signs and, when you said slow down, and, as long as someone's going at the speed limit or less, there's not much you can say unless, you want the police department to reduce the speed limit. I don't know that that's viable for what we're
No, I'm not
talking
asking for
about.
that, I'm not asking for that, I'm asking for people to
agree.
be reasonable.
I like
And
the,
Yeah,
thoughtful.
I mean, if a speed limit is 30 miles an hour,
I'm not, I don't,
You know?
I want people to be reasonable and thoughtful.
I like the idea of pushing off the secondary to conservation.
Yeah, that's a good
And this
idea.
way you keep them separated, cause if you group them together, you're gonna lose half
Yeah.
the people. And
Yeah.
adding the image helps a lot, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I
things
don't
with
have the
images
dead
get more
beaver,
attention.
but you have it, or you got it, we can get the dead beaver from you, right?
I don't know if we wanna necessarily put that on spot.
Correct.
I would not wanna have to have a viewer disclosure on,
yeah,
live beaver.
yeah.
You get a percentage of people that will get very PO'd
who will
about
get
that.
very
I know.
upset,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I don't
Then
want
we-
trigger warnings on Spotlight, I would feel
Oh,
so bad for
Lord.
the person.
And then- and then
You know,
you're
don't
gonna-
forget
and
with
then you're
that
gonna have
beaver,
deer, you're gonna have
though,
bear, you're gonna have everything.
It wasn't intentional.
I don't know.
Somebody
I
driving
don't-
along and the beaver
I don't
happened
know
to be in
that.
the wrong place at the wrong
I
time.
don't know that, I just know the beaver's dead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was in the road.
I don't know that. I really don't even
Why?
know that.
Where do you think it was?
I have no idea, I just know he's dead.
Yeah. Well, the car didn't veer into the dam
I
to
have
hit
no
a
idea,
beaver
Dave.
and then go back to the road
I don't
again.
know, I just know he's dead.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you for that. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Dave, you wanna make that?
So moved.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Bob seconds. All those in favor of the
Aye.
motion to
Aye.
adjourn? Any opposed? Motion carries.